Before I start this video, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Dr. Judd Burton's Institute of Biblical Anthropology. If it wasn't for his tutelage, as well as the incredible resources and course of direction that his institute provides, I wouldn't be able to make these videos with any sort of confidence. So if that's something you'd like to learn more about, I'll leave a link to the institute courses in the description. Now let's talk about wooden stakes, to which I feature in my Vampire Hunter one handcrafted and whittled down branch cut from the beautiful aspen trees in Colorado Springs. And as everyone knows, a wooden stake through the heart is one way to kill a vampire, which, similar to the silver bullet, is an idea that became popularized through literature and film like that of Bram Stoker's Dracula. But also, similar to the silver bullet, the wooden stake was deeply ingrained in folklore and mythology before it became popularized in literature and cinema. And as my professor likes to say, we have to peel back the cinematic and literary elements in order to properly explicate the anthropological and mythological. So let's take a look at some historical works. In Montague Summers' book, The Vampire, His Kith and Kin, he writes that when a vampire was tracked to his lair, one of the most approved methods to render him harmless was to transfix the corpse through the region of the heart with a stake, which may be of aspen or maple, as in Russia, or more usually of hawthorn or whitethorn. The aspen tree is held to be particularly sacred, as according to one account of this was the wood of the cross. In her wood walk, Miss Felicia Herman says, "The aspen tree shivers mystically in the sympathy with the horror of that mother tree in Palestine, which was compelled to furnish materials for the cross." So it appears, at least in the setting of Eastern European folklore, that the wood aspect of this apotropaic represents the wood of the cross that Jesus was crucified on. In fact, one interesting characteristic of the aspen tree is that the leaves start to tremble when the wind blows through it. And according to legend, the leaves of the aspen quiver in memory of the crucifixion. This is why it's given the name Populus tremula, which means trembling tree. And so once again, we find a stark connection between objects that are meant to destroy evil and the gospel of Jesus. It's almost as if Christ himself is the ultimate apotropaic. Reading on, it says with regard to Hawthorne, Sir John Mandeville writes, "Then was our Lord led into a garden, and there the Jews scorned him, and made him a crown of the branches of albius pine, that is, whitethorn, that grew in the same garden, and set it upon his head. And therefore hath the whitethorn many virtues. For he that beareth a branch of him thereof, no thunder, nor any manner of tempest may harm him, nor in the house that is in may an evil ghost enter." So the hawthorn stake represents the crown of thorns placed on Jesus' head, and the aspen stake represents the cross that he was crucified on. It's no surprise that these weapons against evil are representative of the blood that was offered for the salvation of mankind, and that this symbol must penetrate the blackened heart that feeds on the blood that was stolen for the damnation of mankind. It's another classic example of rite of contact and transference, expelling the curse of absolute hatred with the divine and unstoppable force of Christ's sacrificial love. So next time you have to drive a stake through the heart of a vampire, remember that the strength of your weapon is only relevant because God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son.